think there's an assumption that like everybody just knows how to take notes, and that's not necessarily true. So I'm going to tell you what is most effective for the students in my class based on how I have the class structured, with the understanding that every professor is different. And so this may be more or less effective for you depending on how your professor does things in their class. So if you're giving 100% effort, like all in on this process, this is what it would look like. Before you come to class, you're doing your readings, right? So you would start taking notes there as you're doing the readings in preparation for the class, making notes about the key ideas, the main concepts, and start thinking through kind of what the class is going to be about before you even walk through the door. Then when you're in class, this is how I do things. I give my students the slides. So I put them on our Canvas site and they have access to them throughout the semester. So what's on my slides, like I will put the definitions. I will introduce like a key figure and like give the main details about that person, or introduce a theory or a concept and give the definition. And so since I give my students the slides, like I don't necessarily want them writing down what's on the slides. That's why I'm giving it to them. But while that definition is on the screen, I will be talking through like the origins of that theory or examples of where we see this concept in real life. That's the kind of stuff that I want them writing notes about. And bonus points if while they're writing down like my examples and stuff, they're thinking through, oh, I think I remember seeing something similar just yesterday. I wonder if this is an example of that theory or of that concept. Writing down questions. And guess when is a great time to ask me whether or not that is an actual example of the thing? In my office hours. So then you come to my office hours and you're like, hey, I was taking notes in class. We talked about this concept. Would this be an example of that? Love that. Absolutely love that. Super excited to answer that question and see you engaging with the material. Then again, 100% effort if we're all in. After class, spending time reviewing those notes, filling in any blanks, any kind of questions that you have left over. Again, another good time to ask me about those questions. I was confused about this. What did you mean when you said that? Would be in office hours. And that is the most effective way to take notes for a class like mine, where I give you the slides.